Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on YouTube. We have a very special guest, the Four Guys with Quarters special interview task force here. We've got Josh Stein, who is the community manager for Quantum Break, joining us from Microsoft, joining us from all the way from Washington. What's up, Josh?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, excited to be here in rainy Seattle. So
Rainy, yeah, it's always rainy in Seattle, isn't it?
pretty much if it's not rainy, it's cloudy here.
We're really glad to have you on to talk to you about your past history in gaming and, being community manager for other projects. Also, obviously, what you've done for Quantum Break and building up the hype train for that. And, we'll talk about a few other Microsoft projects we think that you're interested in. And
Awesome.
hopefully,
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah, of course. I'll introduce the rest of the guys. You guys probably already know them. He's making his 80-something straight appearance. I guess it's an official appearance, but I will say you've made it for 80-something straight times. Assassin, what's going on?
What's up?
And we've got Italian Clowns here rounding out the panel.
Hey, what's going on?
And yeah, so we just wanted to do this special interview that's not really an official show, but at the same time, just as informative as our regular weekly thing, so that we could get some of the Microsoft guys in to talk about the biggest releases going on right now. Quantum Break, of course.
Yeah.
Probably, as Aaron Greenberg said himself, was the best-selling new IP of this generation. So it's kind of a big deal. We wanted to get Josh in to talk about that. But before we talk about Quantum Break, we want to get your history, Josh, of what you've been doing in the game community, how you became a gamer, and how you got to your role at Microsoft.
Yeah, absolutely. More than happy to share and talk about it. It's always different for everybody, and I love hearing people's stories, whether in industry or even journalists in the industry. It's kind of cool to hear how people kind of went on their own journey. No one is ever alike, and I kind of like that. So for me, it started, like many, super long ago. Back in handheld gaming, big handheld gamer with the Game Boy. That's kind of like my first introduction. Or I was over at my grandparents' house and they'd be like, "Here's this Atari, play with this Atari," and I'd sit down with this little joystick, start playing with it, and be like, "All right, this is pretty damn cool. All right, I can get into this." So definitely from I think age of 4 or 5. Obviously, I've been playing games like many of you probably.
Of course, yeah.
And haven't stopped ever since. So I'm now over 30 years old, and I'm still playing games every damn day.
There you go. That's what I hope to do, man. No one's gonna stop me from playing my games, man.
Yeah,
No, they'll have to pry from my cold dead fingers.
Josh, that's me. I started with the ColecoVision, and I still game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
It's sometimes fun to boot up those old consoles, I find. I went on a vacation a couple months ago, and the place we stayed at had an old NES. Booted that up and it still worked, so that was kind of cool to plink around on. But yeah, growing up, so I had the NES, N64, even I had a PS1, and then for me, the kind of transformational moment, nothing was really standing out. Other than the usuals, I love Mario. Mario Kart was a big thing I played. 007. With my cousins. Yep, in the basement. Gosh, we would disappear. We'd spend all summer long in that basement playing 007, just going at each other, just yelling and trash talking. Some good memories. But my best friend from childhood, he invited me over one night, and he was like, "Hey man, I just got this new console. We should play. It's something new." And at the time I was on a Medal of Honor kick, so I was playing a lot of Medal of Honor. And he booted it up. And it was this, it's big box, and I was like, "What is this thing? It's big controller." And I was like, "All right, Xbox, okay, cool. We'll see what this is." And Microsoft, I only knew at the time, as a young teenager, as something like, "Oh, okay, like on the PC, Microsoft."
Yeah.
And he booted it up, man, and that Halo music crescendoed up, and that was the first time I ever saw Xbox at all. Was hearing that Halo intro music, and I fell in love instantly. I went home. I sold 3 gaming systems, 6 games, a couple controllers, just so I could get that. And then my dad took me that weekend, and I bought an Xbox and Halo. And that kind of started the journey in my love for Xbox. Played, of course, all through the first generation. Loved it. Set up for Xbox Live. I had a super tacky gamer tag. My first one. It was terrible.
Do you care to share?
Oh man, it doesn't exist anymore. It's a super old, but it was like Crazy Jeep Dude 24. Like it was like some terrible game, like something a 14-year-old would make.
I
So
don't know. They're releasing those old, unused, decrepit gamer tags that might show up again someday.
man, I don't think I think I like Steinekin. I don't know if I'd ever go back to Crazy Jeep Dude 24.
That sounds like one of those gamer tags, Josh, that they assign to you if you don't pick one. Like lazy pup,
No,
a bunch of numbers.
I picked it because I couldn't get Crazy Jeep Dude, and somebody had it. So was like, all right, we'll just add a number at the end of it. It's like an AOL username. It's terrible.
Yeah, yep.
But oh man, we play the snot out of that. I used to remember we used to bring all of our TVs over. I have a couple buddies come over when I got up to college, and we would lay out those big pop-out tables.
Oh yeah.
And we'd set 4 on one side, 4 on the other, and just go at it until like 6 o'clock in the morning, playing some Halo. But yeah, from there, became an adult. Did the usual stuff: college, marriage, kids, whatnot. Had a 360. Love the crap out of that. Red Dead Redemption is probably my favorite game of that generation.
Oh, so excited for that when that came out.
Yeah, Red Dead Redemption was between that, BioShock, and then my true love. What made me Halo brought me to the console. I always say that, but what really made me fall in love with Xbox was Gears of War 1.
Oh yeah.
The moment I booted that up and played that, from Mad World trailer to launch, it was so gorgeous on the 360. And yeah, went through adult life with a regular old boring corporate IT job, and started just Twitter. I remember I fired up my first Twitter, and it was a college. It was for a paper. We were doing like a psychology paper, and that's the only reason I started a Twitter account. And I was like, oh, social media, this new thing called Twitter. I wrote a report about it. Came back. Anyways, I started following people from Xbox. I was tweeting at a couple of them. I started realizing, hey, this would be cool to work there. Instead of doing software deployment patches at 6 o'clock in the morning, that might be more cool. So I started applying like a madman. I started applying in like November of, it was like 2012. I applied all the way through that fall. Didn't hear anything back, so I kind of started to pewter off. I was just a super fan, I'd read my Game Informers. I'd play games till wee hours in the night. I'd work to play is how I would live. Work my job just so I could get home and play. Anyways, long story short, they ended up picking up my resume. And I got a call one day randomly while I was deploying software installation patches. Super thrilling job. And
sounds it.
Came over and I joined Xbox on the Xbox support team right before Xbox One launch, actually. So I joined.
Nice.
I joined the Xbox team about 7 months before launch, between E3 and launch of that year. And I slung tweets for Xbox support on their midnight, like their graveyard shift. It was actually pretty cool getting to walk around the Xbox campus late at night when no one was here. They've got like the Halo statues and the cool and the posters, and they got the Halo 3 diorama in one of the studios. It's pretty freaking cool. I just like walk around like it was in a museum, and it was all to myself at night. I got to go through the Xbox One launch. I stayed here for like 72 hours straight. I was so damn excited. I didn't want to leave work. They had to make me go home because I started falling asleep at my desk.
Wow.
I didn't work all 72 hours, of course, but
Sure.
I just didn't want to leave. It was so the air was almost intoxicating. It was so electric during launch.
Were
And
were the guys and girls there at the office just like jamming out on them or what?
oh, everyone was just so excited.
You guys had them obviously like prior to that, no? You guys couldn't play them. Let's be real.
Right. They had existed, but I wasn't on any kind of engineering team.
Oh,
so
okay.
We were
Gotcha.
on the support team, but I mean, we definitely had our knowledge up on what was going to go on.
Sure. Okay.
And,
But oh man, getting to touch one for the first time, I remember I was so excited, just feeling the controller. I think I oogled over the controller for 30 straight minutes. Tried to see if I could keep it, but
Man.
I had to give it back. But launch was super damn exciting.
Yeah, it was.
I slung tweets all the way until that summer after launch. And then from there, I joined the Xbox Ambassadors team. And
Great team, by the way.
Yeah, fantastic team, what they do there. It's a bunch of community volunteers, if you don't know, who help out and support each other. It's basically people like us, gamers, helping other gamers out when they run into any issues. Because
Sure.
you might be super smart when it comes to networking devices, and then I might be super smart when it comes to like I always know which gun DLC comes with this pack and which pre-order comes with this pack. So everybody kind of helps each other out, and
Sure.
Microsoft and Xbox support that program fully, which is it's great to see. So I became the community manager for that, and slowly rolled into the community manager for the MVP program as well. And I did that for about a year until this December. And then in January, I rolled over to the Microsoft Studio side. So I'm on the gaming side. And as you know, said before, now the community manager for Quantum Break. So I joined the team pretty late for that, but I helped them get that out the door on the community side. And I mean, we're now what, on the 13th? We're about a week and a day after launch, and it's going great. Everyone's loving the game. I'm just watching the Twitter feeds, even right now, just watching the tweets flood in about people sharing screenshots and videos of Jack's powers, and they're just loving it.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about the Xbox community is that the fans that play this stuff, they create these awesome images and characters, and it's just fantastic, man, just going on Twitter and seeing it.
Absolutely. The user content that I've been getting is insane, and I try to spotlight that as much as I can. So I write the blog posts on quantumbreak.com, and now that we're post-launch, I've been sifting like Tumblr and Twitter, Instagram, even Reddit, all sorts of social sites to see, because people are making really awesome custom art. They're also bending. I saw a Quantum Leap and a Quantum Break mashup in Photoshop the other day that was great. They're doing lots of really cool
Wow.
things. That's what I love, the community, just being able to, so for like Quantum Break, just taking anything that those guys and gals create and just putting it on a pedestal. That way everyone can see that, and just kind of, because when it comes down to it, we all just really like to play games on both sides of the fence. So it's great to celebrate that.
Sure. Yeah, and you know, with Xbox One having those sharing capabilities right out of the gate and just expanding upon them with the new dashboard update, I feel like, you know, people like yourself and other community managers for other games that, you know, Microsoft IPs and stuff, I think you guys have awesome jobs and have a lot of content. It's not like like you were saying, going up until the launch, even though you joined late, there was still plenty of stuff to check out. You're able to go on Tumblr and even channels that aren't really, you know, necessarily associated with Microsoft, but there's just so much stuff out there, and that's, I think, what makes the Xbox community so amazing, that they're able to just do that, and the Xbox One's capabilities are able to just help them out and get them able to take screenshots and capture videos and mash them up and do whatever they want with them, you know?
Absolutely. The platform team listens. The feedback.xbox.com site, they listen to that site, and they go where the community is. One thing I've always been a big advocate of is you need to go where your community's at. You can create a home like the Xbox forums, and people will go there. They'll flood there. People will like that experience and use that experience, but there's also people that exist in their own communities, their own forums. I just stumbled across one the other day where there was this really awesome FPS shooting group that was all about just positive gaming and a safe place to come play and have fun. And they have their own set of forums, and I hopped in there, and they were just talking about Quantum Break. So I think it's very important. You have to go where your community is, and you also have to make tools available, which is what the platform team has been doing, which is pretty cool.
Sure, it's nice to talk to you and hear you say that, because I'll tell you, before, you know, I got into the podcasting scene and all that stuff, and we all got more like attuned to what was going on behind the scenes and stuff, I would have seen community manager and I would have thought you would keep to your own channels. Like, it would be a community manager like on Xbox forums or on your Twitter or what have you, or on the Xbox Twitter or on the Xbox Twitch or whatever. But
Right, through the official channels.
exactly. But it's nice to hear that you guys have an active role, and you, during your workday, are able to go out and approach these people in their own settings and make them feel comfortable and more worthwhile for the channels they set up, like you said, with the Positive Gaming FPS channel. I think that is amazing.
I think it's smart. It's smart community management. If it's one thing I've learned is at the end of the day, I'm just a giant dumb fan of gaming in general. And I have my own corners that I love to go, and I think about how freaking cool would it be if the company or the studio or the publisher of, you know, insert game here that I'm a super big fan of comes out and says, "Hey, what's up?" Or, "Hey, that's cool. We're listening in my territory." You know, they like, you know, not physical territory, but like they come to my internet little safe place and say, "Hey, we heard you. This is really cool. This is really good feedback." So even if I can't go in and interact, I still like to listen. I still like to watch because at the end of the day, it's my job to sit at a, we'll say I'm doing quotation marks. You can't see, but the table. It's my job to come sit at the table, and we have publishers here. We'll have marketing here. We'll have PR here. We'll have studio leads here, and we'll talk about the game. And it's my job to be the voice of the community, and the other way back around. When I listen to all these departments give feedback and discuss things, it's my job to also take that information and discuss it with the community. I look at it like a pipeline. So, and its information is flowing left and right, up and down. And I, as a community manager, am not the one driving a lot of those conversations. It might be marketing's driving conversation, PR's driving conversation, the publisher or the studios or the community is even driving it, or a certain aspect of the community is. It's my job to basically sit back and watch. And when I see those important conversations happening, make sure they rise above everything else and get noticed and say, hey, let's bring up this issue, or hey, let's talk about this cool feature, or something, something of that nature.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of that, speaking of always being on the watch on your channels and their channels, what are your thoughts rather on the reception of the game in terms of reviews and how people are reacting to it on Twitter? I know there's stuff going both ways. The majority, if you check out Metacritic, the score isn't in the top of new IPs, but a lot of the big companies are giving a good scores, and the majority of the scores are actually positive on there. And people, the public themselves are really digging it, I think. But what do you guys think of the reception, and how pleased are you about how people are talking about it?
Man, I'm super ecstatic. Now, I only live in the community corner, so I mean that's where I live. I see the Metacritic reports; the reviews are coming in; they're looking great, man. When those started hitting, I was super excited to see those reviews land. But where I live and what I really want to listen to is what the community's saying about it. So, like for example, some people on Twitch were streaming early access to show show the community as whole on the game.
Sure.
I maybe had 5 Twitch channels up live, listening to the audio, just cutting in and out between each of them, just listening. What are the casters saying? What's the chat saying? What are the streamers talking about? What do they like? What do they don't like? What can we listen to them? And then launch. That's where I really went into full gear. So I have 3 monitors plus my laptop monitor set up like a little NASA station.
Nice.
And I have all these monitor key tracking that I'm doing across all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, NeoGAF, just listening and just seeing what the community's talking about. And the response has been amazing. Anytime, I think it was the other day, I was feeling a little sick. All I did was just pull up my feed the other day and start scrolling through people tagging #QuantumBreak. And it was just so great to see the response and see people talking about it and being like, so I'm on level 2 of Act 2, and this crazy thing happened, and I can't just get enough of it. And I'm excited to see that the show aspect is hitting really good with the community. People are loving it. They're loving okay, I like to set down my controller and watch this, because they're seeing it's creating a more emotional attachment, right, in my experience, with the characters than you would with a standard cutscene. So, and it doesn't need to be said, but I mean, Remedy's an amazing storytelling studio.
Absolutely.
And they're honing their craft. Every game they released, it seems like they're just getting that diamond polished a little bit shinier, which is great to see that studio evolve. So, as for the community side, I've been super happy with the response,
awesome,
and
man.
seeing where we're going with it. And we're still listening to the community. That's what also my job comes into effect is I don't stop listening on launch day and then, okay, I'm done. Here's some contests. Here's some codes. Have fun. It's no, talk to me about the game. What do you like? What do you don't like? And then I can take that feedback and we can it creates discussions. Sure. And that's the best part about the job is seeing those discussions spark. And then people just start talking about that, because that's when things happen.
Absolutely.
Josh, do you have a favorite act or scene in the game?
I do, actually. I have a couple favorites. So my favorite act is Act 3. I think that is absolutely one of my favorite acts of the entire game. It's got a lot of meat to the story in it. You've got all your powers. I just really love how Act 3 hits. And then anything with Beth in it. Man, Courtney Hope, who's the actress who plays Beth, just knocks it out of the park. I mean, I'll be honest, they all do. Shawn Ashmore, Lance Reddick, like everybody just really nails it. But for me, in my personal preferences in gaming, I really love Beth's experience. If you got to read the journals, you got to read the emails. Remedy really puts a lot of really awesome things in. It's not one of those games where, oh, I've got to read those to get it. It's a choice. You can, how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go with a Remedy game? So with Beth's stuff, she's one of my favorite characters. Her cutscenes are great. Her story arc, absolutely love that kind of story arc.
Yeah, and I think what you just said about, the actors being amazing, especially Beth, like, I think that's why people aren't minding the cutscenes as much, even though they're a little longer than traditional cutscenes. It's crazy to think that gamers like ourselves are okay with cutscenes, because I remember going up through my lifetime when I'm playing games, I'm just like, oh man, I have to watch this. In most of the games I'm playing, I'm thinking that, but in Quantum Break, it's a good thing. It's almost a good thing. It almost would be a terrible game if they weren't included. It would almost be like not enough to develop without those.
It makes you fall in love with your favorite character, is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
And again, when I watch people, I'm watching people stream it now. I'll tune into people with only one person watching,
Sure.
and I'll just see like what they're saying, what's their reactions, because I'm not going to just tune into somebody because they have 40,000 people watching. I should watch it.
Right.
I'll keep an eye on it, but I like to tune into those single streamers who just have 1 to 10 people watching, and it's the same thing. Like, I've sat there and I've literally watched guys and girls say, "Oh no, holy crap, no!" Like, they're just getting involved in it, and it's great to see people like really attached to characters. I've seen people, and you almost see like these, I love Will, oh, I love Jack, oh, Paul's such a great character, Beth, and it's cool to see it's not just a blanket, everybody loves Jack, it's everyone attaches to their own character.
I wanted to ask you, I don't know who the actor is, but the one who played the hacker, the glorified locksmith, as he called himself in Quantum Break, in the cutscenes, I thought he did a fantastic job.
Oh,
I don't know the actor's name either.
Are you talking about? It's not Brenner. Brenner's the one he yells at. Oh man, I'm gonna get butchered now for just blanking his name.
No, that's okay. I mean, like I can't think of the name either, but I've seen him before, and I think he's a fantastic actor, and I'm glad they put him in there.
They've all been in previous games, which is kind of cool to see. Or not previous games, previous shows.
Shows, yeah.
I mean, like, I think Lance Reddick is from The Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
Amelia's in there. You got Patrick, Liam, and then I mean you've got your big names, Aidan Gillen and Dominic Monaghan, which is cool because I was a big Lost fan.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing Aidan in there was actually pretty cool for me.
I know you're obviously you're a Quantum Break guy because you're the community manager and you've been hyping it up for a while, but if you were to want a sequel, are we thinking Quantum Break 2 or Alan Wake 2 for you?
If I had to pick one?
If you had to pick one, which one would you want to come first, Quantum or Alan Wake 2?
Oh, in a dream world, I would want both. I'm so biased.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I know that's such a cop-out, but
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be a dream world, I want anything Remedy can give me, I will take. So, I have no idea what they're working on next or what the next plan is for Remedy Studios, but I just hope they just keep pumping out great story games because I feel like we have all these great experiences. You have The Division, you have Halo 5, I love Destiny. You have all these great online co-op experiences with your friends. You've got new betas coming out too, which is great. Like I'm excited to go back to my Gears my Gears Pass with Gears 4 beta coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Battleborn and Overwatch, I'm excited, but every now and then I just want a really good damn story.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just want to sit down and really have a great story that sucks me in. Like Red Dead Redemption, I wouldn't compare that because of how, that game is open world Grand Theft Auto, but
sure.
That's it's an example. I got sucked into that. BioShock Infinite. I know there's some people who didn't like that kind of story arc because I like the old school BioShock. But BioShock Infinite sucked me in. When I can't put down a game for a week or two because I have to finish the story or find out all the story arcs, that's a good game for me personally. So I hope whatever it is, they just keep pumping out those awesome story games.
Absolutely.
Good. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if I was to see a sequel, because somebody asked me that too, I actually said I would love to see Alan Wake 2, but like Quantum Break integrated somehow, like time twisted into it somehow.
That'd be cool. I've seen some pretty cool fan mashups that they've created. Somebody tried to do like a Max Payne Quantum Break mashup too, where you could like jump out of your bubble in like a bullet time. I've seen lots of iterations.
That would be really cool.
I think whatever it is, it's going to be great, and it's going to be one step even notch above. Because I feel like every game they're releasing, they just keep bringing that notch higher and higher.
Agreed. I definitely agree. I think even though I'm an Alan Wake guy, I think the storytelling in this was unmatched. I think it's just goes beyond. I think they were able to make something out of nothing that people were really interested in, and that's
Yep.
getting tougher in the gaming industry to make a new IP that is, a AAA kind of title that people are just going to get behind. That's why you see so many copycats.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Here it is. I just looked it up. Marshall. That's who.
Marshall, yes.
Dang it.
Yes.
It start with an M, but I didn't want to missay it. So.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, Quantum Break, big success, right? I mean, obviously the biggest selling new IP of this generation. Do you think that, or do you get the sense maybe on the inside that there's kind of a pressure to even top Quantum Break this year with some of the other new releases that are coming out? Especially like Gears 4. Do you think there's a pressure to top it, or do you think they kind of expect that, or what is the feeling about Quantum Break being the best IP so far? You think they want to just keep riding that, or you think they want to just go above and beyond?
No, I think it's a package deal, and that's the sentiment I get. It's not. Let's throw our chips on Quantum. Okay, Quantum's done. Now let's throw our chips on Gears. What I like is when I've talked to our awesome marketing team and our awesome marketing managers, Aaron Greenberg leading the charge with them. It's looked more at like a really awesome, like you think about a group of friends, right? And you're like, oh man, I'd really love to hang out with Toby. No, you'd really want to hang out with Toby and Jen and Jim and Jack. Like you have your group of friends that you kind of want to roll and hang out with, guys and girls alike. And I think that's how the marketing team looks at it. Is you have Quantum Break, but Quantum Break serves that genre, it serves that purpose of hitting hard in spring of 2016, showing that Xbox One means serious business and that it's got some great games. And then from there, it rolls right into, you have other awesome games. Like, so on the Microsoft Studio side, not speaking to year 2016, but in general, like
Sure.
Crackdown, Recore, Scalebound, like KI, in Ori, like they just had their definitive edition.
Yep.
The way we look at it, and the way I think marketing's looking at it, leading that charge is you don't have to have favorites. You don't have to play like one friend against another friend or compete. It's let's bring all our friends to the party. Everybody has their own likes and flavors, and let's just all have an awesome fun time. So that's how I kind of feel like the charge is leading. Is Quantum Break's making that big splash, kicking the year off. We just had Ori, we just had KI Season 3 chat, and I think it's just going to keep rolling as the time goes into PAX, into E3, into the fall lineup. It's going to be great.
Awesome, man. That was a good answer. Actually, I'm impressed.
That's just, and I should say, like, these are my, as a fan, like,
Of
at the end
course,
of the
yeah.
day, some people, I have to hide it a lot, but I'm just a giant nerd that for some reason Lady Luck flicked on the head, and until she figures it out, I'm just going to do everything I can to enjoy it and just be great for the community. I always have a mantra. Whenever I leave every day at work, I stop in the studio lobby over here in Redmond, and I say, did I leave the community 1% better than when I found it this morning? Like, just at least 1% better. And then I'm like, okay, it's time to go home and do it again tomorrow. So I'm just a big fan here at Xbox. I like what we do. I believe in the games that we produce and sell. And I know that sounds cheeky and cheesy, but it really, when it comes down to it, it's just that simple. It just I actually believe in it. So.
And not to compare you to the man himself, Phil Spencer, but it's amazing to have
No.
like guys like Phil, running the charge as a gamer like us, and we all really, I mean, as simple as that is, we all really appreciate having someone like that at the top. And the same thing with you, like community managers, that really are just fans at heart, or nerds at heart, gaming guys, gaming gals, just leading the charge and getting the names out there and getting all the hype going. And it's just awesome to have guys like you and them and just running the whole ship over at Microsoft. It's awesome.
I agree. I think it's smart. It's enable people who can understand and speak the language. If that person can't speak the language, I mean, they're going to have issues adapting, or not to say that that's impossible. I've seen some people join here who have never touched a video game console, and now suddenly, like, they're playing more than I am a week. So But it's really cool to see, and you can tell. You'll walk by someone's office and you'll see like the Titanfall statue and the Gears of War Lancer in their window of their office, and you'll be like, all right, that person gets me. It's
Yeah.
like I always compare it to it's that moment when you're in an airport, and this has happened to me a couple times. And like I'm a big Destiny fan, so I think I have like 12 Destiny shirts. It's ridiculous. I'll be walking in the airport, and this happened just like 3 weeks ago, and I'm wearing a Destiny shirt, and I see this guy, he's looking at me, and I look over, make eye contact with him because I think he's staring, and he's looking at my shirt, and he just gives me a nod, and he says, Titan? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I'm a warlock. And I was like, hey, good to meet you. And we just keep walking. Like, it's just that magical little moment there where you just like, hey, I get you. I respect that. And you just keep walking. Anyways, that happens all the time. And people like leadership like Phil and Aaron, Mike Ybarra, Larry, there's an entire web system there of leadership that gets it. They go home. They can't wait to go home and play. I hear them talking in the hall. It's like, hey, man, you going to check out the Battleborn beta? Oh, yeah. Oh, and then you got the Gears beta. Like, I think I literally just heard that conversation a couple minutes ago over there on the 4th floor. So
That's
it's
awesome.
really humbling to hear that and be like, you know what? Okay, I'm in the right place.
Right.
And that's really cool too, Josh, is that not only do they play games, but everybody like I've met at Xbox plays games with the community as well. I was very humbled that I got to play Rocket League with Phil Spencer one night. I'll never forget that. That was amazing because I look up to you guys because I'm a gamer. I love video games, and it's just great to see other adults playing video games. And those are the guys that are like making it happen.
Oh yeah.
It's really cool. Really
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
man.
I totally agree. As a fan myself, if somebody's running the company and the decisions and they believe in the same things I believe in, such as, like going home and just playing games with your buddies or like with the community. I've done that a couple times where I've done some Halo nights where I'll hop on and be like, all right, who's hopping on Halo? And then we'll all just get in and have a great old time. That's how I used to meet people in the 360 days. And so there's no reason why that can't exist in the Xbox One days. So I'm all about that. Some of my best friends I've only met through playing online on Xbox.
Totally agree. Any more questions about Quantum Break before we move on, gentlemen? For Josh? Assassin, I heard you, Mike. Do you have a question?
What did you think about the last boss fight? Because I like to hear other people's reaction.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It was so, like, for me, it was so annoying. Like, I just wanted to grab my controller, just whip it.
and Josh, that's coming from a guy that rated the game like 10 out of 10.
Right.
So he loves the game.
worries. No worries. Yeah, I've been listening and watching people. I've actually been watching people do walkthroughs, watching some community members post walkthroughs, or I'll purposely tune into someone's stream when they're at the last fight. I don't want to spoil things because the game's only been out for 7 days, and depending on when you post this, it hasn't even been out for a full 2 weeks. So I don't want to spoil it, but what I want to say is, for me, it was challenging when I first got into it because it wasn't it was like, oh wow, this is different. Oh, okay, so it had to make me kind of shift left with my brain and my time powers because what it comes down to is you don't really fight anyone like that for the rest of the game, which is the point. I think if I fought 15 other boss fights like you do fight that end fight, it kind of takes the magic away for me a little bit. But again, it rewires your brain. You got to move because I see people get in there. They think, oh, this is a standard cover shooter, and holy hell, is it not?
No.
You have to get up. I tell people, okay, fine. You think you're Jason Bourne. Great. With cover. Great. But guess what? I now gave you a shot, and you are now Jason Bourne with the Quicksilver powers.
Yeah.
Go. Like, what are you going to do? You're not going to stand there behind cover with an MP5 and shoot over this little laboratory table. No, you're gonna be the Quicksilver, man. You're gonna hop over that table. You're gonna be the badass you are, and you're gonna just run up and just punch that guy before he can even blink his eyes because you have the power of time. Same thing with the boss fight. You just have to harness those powers, and it's just tuning your brain. Like any boss fight, when I roll into it, I don't think there's ever been a boss fight. Maybe some on some more simpler games where I roll in and beat it on the first try, but.
Sure.
I've seen some people, yeah. I'm actually playing on hard mode again, and I'm on Act 4. So tonight when I go home, I'll be on the boss fight myself. But I don't want to spoil too much about it because I know people are still experiencing it for the first time.
Yeah. And when we talked about it, on our weekly show, we were a little frustrated that it was so difficult, but it's true. Like if you don't play it like you should with all the powers and stuff, you're just gonna be screwed. I mean, you got to just keep moving
And talking with the people at Remedy, the biggest thing I try to tell the community is they're teaching you something. If you're being shown something, it's because you're being taught a lesson.
Right.
It's a story game, and your story has to evolve. You can't go chapter one. Okay, chapter one. That's not how a book goes. Two,
Right.
3, 4, 5. Oh, I have a time shield now. Okay, this is my oh crap button. When I'm about ready to die, I pop this so I can take a breather. Oh, these
Right.
chronon barrels. I need to explode them so I can stop all of time to get a brief second to maybe get a flank on this guy. So same thing with the boss fight. It's teaching you something that you got to kind of try to take away. And for some, I got to admit, even for me, it took okay, all right, I've died 3 times. Now I get this. Okay, all right, this guy's gonna be this way. All right, you just got to buckle up, put on your big boy gamer pants, and take at it.
Mm-hmm.
But they did do something in that boss fight that I don't know if a lot of people take advantage of. I played it on hard from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. before I realized on that boss fight that walls can be your friends at times.
Walls can be
Walls.
nice. Yes,
Walls.
yes, that is true.
Oh man. Yeah, so if you guys are watching this, you haven't grabbed Quantum Break yet, you like the sound of it from what we're talking about, I mean, you should definitely go grab it. It's definitely one of the better games in the Xbox, and for story-driven games, it's definitely, I mean, I agree with Greenberg, it's the best in this generation.
Yeah,
So-
I'm the horse's mouth. I'm biased as hell, but I
Yeah,
absolutely
right.
agree. If you want a great story-based game, I would absolutely recommend snagging Quantum.
So, speaking of games coming down the pipeline through Microsoft, I know you're a huge Gears fan, and Gears 4
Yep,
beta is
yep.
right around the corner. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about that before we get on out of here. So before we get into Gears 4, I want to ask you though, because you did talk about how pumped you were about the Gears franchise when you saw those first trailers back, 10 odd years ago with the original Gears on 360. So with Gears Ultimate Edition, were you excited about that? Did that give you the nostalgia that everyone thought it would, or were you kind of like meh on it? What are your thoughts on Gears the Ultimate Edition?
For me, as a Gears fan, I will take any Gears I can get. That's the kind of fan I am. I am willing to saturate whatever I can get from that studio. So for me, it was the perfect appetizer. So, you have Gears 4, you're really excited, and I was like, oh man, but I gotta wait forever. I gotta like milk these trailers and keep watching them to satisfy my thirst. I think it was a smart idea, and for me, I mean, I pre-ordered it immediately once it went up for sale, and day one I was playing it. But for me, again, I'm a story-based kind of guy. I tend to lean towards, so I didn't hop on the online too much for Gears of War Ultimate Edition. But man, I played the snot out of the campaign. So
Yeah, the campaign-
for me, it gave me the perfect appetizer to kind of cleanse my palate and say, okay, this is why I remember why I love Gears so much. This is great. This feels great. Please give me Gears of War 4. It just kind of set my fan heart in the right mindset
Sure.
to warm up. And man, rolling into that trailer that dropped just the other
A
day.
couple days ago, yeah.
Oh man, talk about Mad World feels.
Yeah. Oh
that
yeah.
that Tomorrow trailer. Ooh. I actually bought the cover right afterwards and listened to it when I went on my way home that day.
Nice. Yeah, everybody on Twitter was talking about that trailer and how it gave you the same feels as
God.
people got back in 2006.
See, and that's why I'm jazzed as hell. The new weapons that they've been showing, I know the Gears team just got off their beta tour, a really successful beta tour showing it off. And man, some of those new weapons, is it the driller or the ripper? I'm trying to remember the one that shoots in the sky
And then comes down at you. And
Did
it's
you
right
see
over
that
your head or
come down
whatever?
and just
Oh, yeah.
it just shred through him, and then the knife at like execution. They think I saw at Xbox tweet today a quick YouTube video of the knife to the face execution. I was just like, oh, give me that, give me all of that. I will drink it in gladly.
Yeah, so that kind of like segues into what I was going to ask you next about, the new storyline with, Phoenix's, son, JD Phoenix.
Yeah.
And with the new characters and the new weapons. I mean, you think as a Gears fan, as an Xbox employee, like, is this continuing like what people thought Gears should go on to? Like Judgment was kind of I think universally Judgment was like a low point for the people, for the series, for the fans and stuff. Do you think Gears of 4, this starting of maybe a new trilogy is a good start? You think you're liking it so far?
I'm digging it right now. So as a personal preference, I like evolution in my games. Playing the same character is fine. Sometimes though, I do want flavors. I mean, I love Taco Bell, man. I'll eat Taco Bell until I regretfully don't want to admit it. But I'm not gonna eat it every day. You know, by the fifth day, I'm like, all right, please, dear God, let me eat something else. Give me a cheeseburger. Like, same thing. I love me some Gears of War. I love me some Marcus Phoenix, Baird, Cole. Yeah, Dizzy. I love Dizzy, man.
Dizzy, yep.
I enjoyed Dizzy as a character. I love that eclectic cast you get, and so I'm totally down for JD and seeing what that new story is. Because again, man, I'm all about that story, and I'm excited to see like where it goes. It's his son. What does that mean? I'm seeing imagery of where, you know, in those trailers of he looks like he's at his dad's house where he grew up. What's going on? Wait, where's his mom? Who's his mom? Like, I've got all those questions. And then his friends, you know, the two side castmates, like, wait, what's going on with them? Who are they? What's their backstory? How do they know JD?
Right.
Any little tidbits are rolling in, I'm all for. I mean, Halo Reach did the same thing to me, is how I feel. So I remember when I first finished Halo Reach and went out and I read all about Reach and all about that information. Same thing. As soon as this drops, I'm going to be trying to suck in any extra content I can about that story.
So you think that, like, as a Microsoft employee with your fellow Microsoft employee friends that you have at the office, you think those people are just as pumped for, you know, a Gears revival of the series? Because
everybody wants to see Gears on Xbox One, that's for sure. And not just in an Ultimate Edition. Like, that definitely felt great.
yeah,
But, you know, the overall vibe is everyone's ready for something new and exciting with the Gears franchise, and I think this is going to bring it. You know, again, I'm biased because I'm a huge Gears fan. So
right.
this is like asking me, you know, how skeptic I am about, you know, the next episode of Star Wars. So,
Sure.
or how excited I am for Rogue One. So, same thing, man. I'm jazzed. I think the vibe around anytime we bring it up and nerd about it. What's really cool, actually, to call out, it's really fun when a new trailer drops. So, for example, when that Gears trailer dropped, I grabbed my coffee, my like sixth of the day probably, and I was walking back to my desk. And as I was walking, I could hear Offices playing it, and it just was like
that's cool. That's awesome.
It was just like a never-ending loop. Like I'd hear someone like just wrap up the trailer, and then I'd walk about 30 more feet, and then I'd see this gal was over here just sitting on the break table, and she had her headphones in, and she was watching it. It's like same moment where I was like, oh man, I'm in my happy place. This is amazing. I'm among my people, and this is great. You almost marinate in it. So I think the vibe is great. I think the vibe is excellent. I'm ready for more information. As a fan, I want more. So where's my quantum break power so I can get to
that's right,
get to launch faster.
Yeah, right.
So, but no, I'm pretty jazzed. You know, the merch store, I'm a big fan of representing my nerdness. I think right now, I got a Gears shirt on and a Quantum Break hoodie. So when that Gears merch store opened up, man, I dropped an embarrassing amount on that. So, but they've got some pretty sweet hoodies, so I'm excited. I want them to keep going. I want all the Gears stuff I can have at my desk. I've tweeted pictures of it, but my desk I get a lot of crap for it.
Sure.
It's where did Josh's paycheck go? Shrine of embarrassing. It's not embarrassing. I'm proud of it. And you know, people come by all the time and like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? Oh, what's this? So, I always like to share in that, and I tell people, I was like, I need some more gear stuff on here, man. It's getting old. I got to rotate out something cool.
Hey, if you wanna, you know, if you're a gaming nerd, you want to represent some merch, maybe I can get your shirt size after the show, and I can give you a 4-guy shirt at PAX East. No,
I'm always happy to, man. Are you guys gonna be at PAX East?
I'm gonna be there. Yeah, I'll be there all 3 days.
I will be there as well. I'll announce what I'm doing and what capacity I'll be at a little later on Twitter, but I will be there, so I look forward to some beardy high fives.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
You got to grow your beard out, Inferno, for that.
Dude,
you got to get the beard game going.
No, he's got a good beard going, I can see here, but I had to cut mine. So I don't know if you guys saw that. about 2/3 of it off. due
Yeah,
to
I saw
an
that.
accident.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not
I was
good.
trimming my beard and I sneezed.
Oh,
See, I've done that. I was trimming my beard and I coughed on Easter Day, on
Oh
Easter
man.
morning, and right through, and I'm like, shit.
Yep. I was trimming from the back to the chin, and I go chip, and I just went mirror, and because I had the zero level
Oh,
on,
that's brutal.
because I was doing some fine tuning
Yeah, of
and trying to
course.
give it some shape, and I cut half it off. So
Yeah, you gotta shape it, man. You gotta.
I'm
Keep
growing it
clean.
back out. It got pretty damn short, but I'll fix that by PAX East. So
See, I have a girlfriend that talks badly about long facial hair, so I gotta keep it tight. I gotta keep
fair
it tight.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You guys got any more questions for Josh about gear stuff or Assassin? Your favorite boss, the Ram fight on Ultimate Edition on Insane?
Ooh,
The jump.
Ram on insane.
We did Assassin and I co-op that, and I think I was ready to kill myself. Like
No.
it was so difficult. I'd
Man,
never
I
done
like
it on
those
Insane before.
challenges, man, because when you do it, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like
I
when
guess
we
maybe
beat it.
maybe
yeah.
that's my start from like old school games where it was damn hard to get past some of those bosses back then.
Oh, yeah.
You had to like strategize, and sometimes you had to be precision down to the like millisecond, like
Oh, of
quick left, quick fire, and then you have to jump and shoot while you're halfway down on your fall.
Oh yeah. The old school games are so much harder. Don't you agree? Overall, like throughout the whole catalog of like NES or SNES games, like
They're pretty
those
unforgiving.
games were unforgiving, man.
Yeah, there's some in Rare Replay I like to go back and play
Oh,
that
yeah.
still give me a good challenge and remind me of like gotta respect these roots. Can't.
Battletoads.
Yep.
Battletoads, or even like in the Mega Man collection they released, the
Still
Capcom
never
released.
been to
Oh
the
my
end of
God.
Battletoads.
Really? Wow.
I know you can in the new one. In Rare Replay, you can put it to where you can keep going when you die, but
Sure. Yeah.
I do it old school. One death.
Nice. Yep. Oh man. So yeah, Gears 4 beta starting up on the 18th. You'll be on that, I'm guessing.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. But I'll get as much play as I can before I got to leave for Boston.
See, I think it's gonna be playable at Boston a little bit. I think they're gonna have some Gears stuff there. No?
I hope so. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they are. I think I read that.
I've been so busy with Quantum Life, I haven't been able to keep quite up on what's going on at PAX East, but I know I'll be there, and if Gears is there, man, I'll be playing it.
How many years have you been at PAX East, or did you go to
This
PAX
will only
Prime?
be my second year.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I'm pretty new to the whole con experience. So this will be my second PAX East. Last year was my first.
Sure.
I've only been to three Prime. This will be my third PAX Prime this year, and if I go to E3, this will be my second E3. Last year was my first E3.
Nice. So, cons in general, Prime versus East. Which one's better? Would you say?
Oh, well, I'm biased. I like Prime because it's right at my back door. I can sleep in my own bed at night.
Yeah,
and
that's
I don't
true.
have to. Plus, last year being my first PAX East, that's when they had that terrible ice storm, and so
Yep.
I fell like 6 times on the ice.
See, I live 5 minutes away from East, so of course I'm gonna say the same thing about my home.
Nice, yeah.
All right. Any more questions for Josh before we wrap up, gentlemen? Clowns?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, Josh. What were some of your favorite arcade titles that you played growing up?
Back in the day,
Back in the day, if you went to an arcade like Coin Op.
yep, my go-to was X-Men or Ninja Turtles. Always.
Oh,
Ninja
man.
Turtles, man.
Yep.
Nice
Four play.
choices.
Yep. The 4-player Ninja Turtle arcade machine. Oh, God, what year was that? It was like 1992, 1991. When they had the 4-player co-op version, and all the sticks were colored to the turtle.
Yep.
And I'd go straight for Leonardo, and if he was taken, I'd go straight to Michelangelo. But we had this little place called Pojo's that was near my dad's house, and I spent my summers there. I'd get a bunch of quarters from him. I'd go and I'd grab a Snickers, I'd grab a Mountain Dew, and then I'd walk across the street to Pojo's, and I'd just sit there and burn all my quarters until they were gone. And then the X-Men game, I was always Wolverine.
Same thing, bro.
Love
Burned
playing
so many
Wolverine.
quarters.
Those are my 2 most fondest memories for arcade games. And then anytime I could get my hands on any of the shooting games, I'd always try to do that. Like I remember a little later, but Jurassic Park, that one was always fun, where you'd sit in the booth.
Time Crisis, that was my jam.
Yep, Time Crisis. But yeah, man, I have such fond memories of that Ninja Turtle cabinet. If I ever got to a place where I could financially afford a full one, like, or have someone build one, I know you can have people build them, or you can get the ones where they have all the games on it.
Sure.
I'd love to just get a dedicated 4-stick, old school arcade cabinet. I mean, those things are thousands.
Yeah,
but
of course, yeah.
that'd be when I'm like, okay, I'm retiring, and I just sit there and invite 3 buddies over and play on that like every weekend.
Yep. I play that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one every single year. They've got a place in New Hampshire, Fun Spot. It's actually the biggest arcade in the world now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they don't have X-Men, but they do have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they have the Simpsons one, which was kind of
Oh
like
god,
that.
the Simpsons one.
Yeah, they have those
Yes.
ones right next to each other,
Yes.
so I
That
play
was-
those every year.
Oh gosh, I was such a fantastic one. My mom used to hate when I'd play it though, because she'd be like, "You're too young to play that." But my dad would just be like, "All right, just go play."
Yeah.
Yep. I remember playing Bart. You'd smack him with the skateboard.
Skateboard, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Marge with the vacuum cleaner.
Yep. Now you're gonna get me all sentimental. I need to find it. There's some good arcades here. There's some good barcades where you can go and you can have a nice beer and play
No
some
way.
arcade games in Seattle.
Wow, that's cool. I have to get
Yeah.
out there. I would love to visit Seattle.
Yeah, there's some great barcades. That's my favorite when I can sit down and play. Like there's one I think I was just playing Galaga. Just having a nice ice cold beer and Galaga and a cheeseburger, and I was in heaven. So
See,
That sounds like the place, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
that's there we go. If I ever don't make it as a community manager, I'll see about opening up my own barcade.
Yeah, you should. You should. See, in our on our little background here that we have with the video associated with this interview, I have you as a baby playing Pac-Man. You'll see it when it goes up, but
Oh wow. A baby playing Pac-Man.
yeah, actually, Assassin and Clowns, you can't see it either because I'm recording it, but I have him playing Pac-Man as a baby. Then as a teenager, I have him with a zapper playing like Duck Hunt. And then I've got him as an adult playing his Xbox One. So,
Nice.
oh yeah,
Nice.
you'll see it when it goes live on YouTube.
That's funny. I didn't even know that you played Pac-Man as a baby. No, I'm saying this because my dad, he owned 3 different pizza places when I was growing up, and he'd always have like arcade machines in there. When I was 3 years old, there's a picture of me and my dad where he held me up, and I was playing Pac-Man at the age of 3 in his pizza place.
That's awesome.
Nice.
See, I did the same thing with my nephews. I got them playing Xbox. I mean, they're young now, but they, when they were younger, they were playing on my 360 at like 3 years old. Get them into it young, you know what I mean?
I like it.
Other than
All right.
that, we got any more questions for him before we get out of here, gentlemen? All right, I guess not. Josh, thank you so much for doing this interview. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and hopefully the next community manager job you get on, we can have you on again.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, more than happy to hanging out with the Quantum fans. We'll see what happens after that, but until then, it's been a really humbling ride, man. Just to even have a part of even a 0.001% of this whole game launch. So,
Sure.
but thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and yeah, feel free to hit me up anytime if I see you at PAX East. Hope to see you.
Oh yeah, dude. We'll have to get some pictures. I'll have to hit you up.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, check us out on our website, 4guyswithquarters.com. If you're watching this video, you probably know about our YouTube, youtube.com/4guyswithquarters. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook as well, 4guyswithquarters on Facebook, 4GWQ Podcast on Twitter. And if you want to check out our actual weekly podcast, you can watch us on Twitch and YouTube. Our Twitch is 4guyswithquarters, so just search us on there. And other than that, we will bid you adieu, Josh. Thanks a lot. Again, appreciate it.
Thanks again, guys. Have a great day.
See you later.
Thanks so much, Josh.